So, since we were talking about the Ford Focus RS, I figured we'd go ahead and take a look at what the Ford Focus RS looks like from Ford's own website. So let's go ahead and build and price our own Ford Focus RS. I'd like to build my own. I want the hatch and I want the RS. Let's go ahead and configure that. And, you know, I like this color, but my favorite color on the RS is the nitrous blue. I would only accept it in this color. I'm pretty picky about my car colors, so, you know, there it is. The only other package or thing I would get would likely be, where is the RS2 package? There it is, the RS2 package. And what that comes with is, it comes with 8-way driver's seat, leather Recaro seats, which is kind of comparable to the seats that come with the Type R. The Type R does not have Recaro seats, but they're very reminiscent of Recaro seats. It does have heated exterior mirrors, heated front seats, heated 3-point steering wheel. Those things do not come with the Type R, but I'm glad that the RS offers it up. If the Type R had the offer, I would actually take them up on it. So then we go over to the summary. And we take a look here, and the price is $36,120 plus $875 destination charge. It's around $37,000. Now I added the RS2 package, so that adds a couple of $1,000 on there. So it's 40 grand for the car. Now dealerships are not really giving incentives out yet, but at least they're not charging dealership markups on these RSs. So that's actually really good. When I went to talk to the dealership, they actually gave me a decent price, between 39 and 40K. We're talking about to pick up the Ford Focus RS with the RS2 package. So let's go ahead and talk about how I feel of the Ford Focus RS versus the Type R.
Okay, so let's get to the topic at hand. Now, a lot of people in my comment section, I love all you guys, even the haters, giving me a lot of hate, telling me like, oh, why did you go to Type R? You should have gotten a Ford Focus RS, you could have gotten a Mustang GT, you could have gotten a Camaro SS, you could have gotten a WRX STI. A lot of different cars I can get, and definitely all of them very good cars. So I'm going to address each one of those cars one by one. So today we're going to start with the Ford Focus RS, as I talk about. So let's get started. Now, the Ford Focus RS, incredible car. I actually test drove it right before I bought the Type R. I had a chance to go and test drive it, and it was an awesome drive. Very fast car, very, very nice car. I couldn't film it because the guys at that Ford dealership were kind of being dicks. They didn't even want to let me test drive it, first of all. I guess it's one of those things with these rare cars, they don't let you test drive them. But I needed a test drive, and I wanted to see if it was going to be, you know, if it was something that was going to fit my personality the way I drive. So I went and test drove it, and it was pretty good. You know, I was very impressed with the power. I was impressed with the interior. I was impressed with just basically the whole package for what it is. They were selling it for around 39, 40K, which is actually not bad for the price. But I was thinking, you know, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in this car. It needs to be pretty much perfect. You know, for me to get rid of my Honda Civic hatchback Sport, a great car, I need to be upgraded to something that I'm going to love. So during the test drive, I noticed that the seats themselves were not exactly perfect. They were actually kind of uncomfortable. I couldn't really pinpoint why my back just wouldn't sit in it right. It was bolstered, I feel, in the wrong places. I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of the seats. All over the internet, people are complaining on those seats. I'm like, yeah, those guys are BSing. Those seats are probably fine. I went to sit in them. I didn't like them. The Recaro, I sat in the Recaro seats that the car has as option, the RS2 option, and I just didn't. It didn't call out to me. They didn't have a regular package, but I didn't really want a regular package. I wanted the RS2 package. Another thing is that the actual interior, the instrument panel and things like that, they're very old. You know, it felt like I was driving a 5 to 10-year-old car. Now it did have the sync and it had all the, you know, that good stuff, the touchscreen and things like that. But it just felt kind of like antiquated. And you know, you remember that the car, the Ford Focus, has basically been out for a number of years, 5 or 6 years, something like that. And they haven't changed it in a while. So just keeping that in mind. I'm like, you know what? They're going to be changing the Focus soon anyway, and the new Ford Focus RS is going to be out soon anyway. So why am I getting a car that's built on a chassis that's been around for so long? So that's another negative towards the RS. The Civic hatchback is a brand new design, came out basically 8 months ago. to the U.S. and the Type R was built on a brand new chassis. It's a great car, and I think it's going to be a great car for the next 4 to 5 years. So you know, all the future mods and things like that. This car is going to be worked on by Honda, worked on by so many different tuner shops and things like that. It's going to be great. The Ford Focus RS is going to be changing soon, so we don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know if we're going to get another Ford Focus RS coming in the next couple of years. We'll see. I hope we do. Another thing, so four-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive. Obviously, four-wheel drive is superior to front-wheel drive. Especially, I live in Pennsylvania, so it's an area that gets snow a lot. So four-wheel drive is going to be better in the snow. But you got to remember, adding that four-wheel drive system adds a lot of weight to the car. I'm a big fan of lightweight cars. I own the S2000 after all. It's a very lightweight two-seater roadster. It's my favorite car of all time. It is my dream car, the S2000. So you know, basically I model all my cars after that, and I wanted the lightest hot hatch possible, which is the Civic. The Civic is the lightest hot hatch possible available right now to us in the U.S. market. So you know, another strike against the Ford Focus RS, even though it does have four-wheel drive system. Now, also on the four-wheel drive system, it is an on-demand system. It's basically an added-on function to the Ford Focus RS. You know, they put a half shaft back there. It's an on-demand differential back there that pulls power and sends it to the wheels. You know, each wheel can get independently their own power, which is really cool. It's computer-controlled clutches. But all I heard from that is like basically wear and tear. So a lot of these guys that are tracking their RSs a lot, the system itself shuts itself off after getting kind of hot, and you know, it's basically signifying that the system is getting overheated from sending power to the rear wheels. What that does is then it basically makes your Ford Focus RS a front-wheel drive car when the system gets really hot. I think that it's going to be quite a lot of wear and tear on a four-wheel drive system when I go take the car to the track. It's going to be a lot of track days for whatever car I was going to buy, and I had that in mind as well. Another thing that kind of got me, you know, thinking twice about the RS was the unreliability of it. So I've heard a lot of issues that the RS was having, you know, especially the engine block. So I've heard the engine blocks cracking on a lot of Ford Focus RSs, and then they're not even tuned, a lot of these people. So imagine when you start tuning the car, as I'm going to inevitably have to do. And it's just me. I have to tune the car. I have to get a little bit more power out of it, a little bit better, you know, range and everything out of the engine. I'm going to tune it a little bit. So I'm going to tune the RS, and if the engine block already has issues in stock form, how's it going to handle extra boost, extra power? I don't know. Not that great, I think. Another thing I really wanted to mention, this is actually one of the biggest deals for me, is that the interior, while I think it's great, it's an amazing interior, it's just not quite as big inside as the Civic Type R. Now, I don't really care about the rear legroom. You know, the rear passengers can deal with what they got, in my opinion. You know, it's if you fit, you fit. That's all I care about. Really, it's the hatch. So I use the hatch a lot. You know, you guys saw my daily drive video yesterday. You know, I showed you guys the hatch. I carry boxes and things like that all the time in there. I carry a whole bunch of crap in there all the time. So I needed the hatch to be kind of big. That's why when I went and bought the Honda Civic Hatch Sport, I basically wrote off the Mazda 3, because the Mazda 3's hatch is a lot smaller than the Honda Civic's hatch. So comparing the Type R hatch to the RS hatch, the RS hatch is a lot smaller. I think, again, because of the four-wheel drive system, it takes up a lot of room in the cabin. You have a lot less space to put stuff in. It also has that slope roof like the Type R does. It just has a lot less room in there. You know, I was kind of surprised about how little room there was actually in the hatch of the RS. Of course, it's better than any trunk or things like that, but I really did prize the Type R's space, and that's actually kind of pushed it a lot over the edge. And then finally, you know, personality. So you know, I drive a certain way, and everyone has their own way of driving, right? So, you know, I kind of drive semi-aggressively. I like to be very precise and very, you know, I guess like a scalpel driving around, you know, curvy roads, and even on the highways. I like to be a ghost. I don't like to cause any traffic or things like that. So I like to be kind of like very swift around the highway. And I felt in the RS, I felt like it was a little bit too brash for me. I guess the steering was a little heavy or a little too heavy. I don't know what it was. It just didn't jive with it much, you know. So it wasn't, you know. Again, the car is an incredible car, no doubts about it. It's just that for me, it just didn't fit the way I drove as much as the Honda Civic Type R does. Now, I have to admit, I did buy the Type R without giving a test drive. But after driving this Honda Civic Hatch Sport for about 8 months, I knew that an improvement on that was going to be an incredible car, and it wasn't wrong. I'm glad I did it. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. And I'll have another Civic Type R versus video coming out soon, so watch out for that. Let me know what car you would like me to talk about next. The STI, the Camaro SS, the Mustang GT. I priced them all out, and I actually looked at all of them before I bought Type R, so we're going to talk about all of them. Alright, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
We've both been there before. When love shuts the door, it's a losing game. It's a losing game. But this time it's more than another lot of war. This ain't the same. This ain't the same.